Son of Demon Lord is forced to join an academy disguised as a girl.
As an evil cult grew in power, its existence posed a threat to the entire world of martial arts.
Okay.
So the Justice clans banded together to attack the cult's headquarters in a great battle. However, the battle left only the cult leader and a demon lord called Badian standing. The clan leaders accused the demon lord of taking out their messenger who was sent to deliver an invitation to him.
I know I'm an optimist,
However,
but this does not sound that bad so far.
The messenger's life was taken because he harassed some female cult members. As clan leaders band together to attack Badian, he boasts that if he, a demon lord, cannot defeat the likes of them, he'd rather become a salted fish. 13 years later, we see that Badian actually turned into a fish.
No, that's nasty. No, that's nasty, bro.
He hides when he notices someone approaching the temple, but it turns out to be our main protagonist, called Renji, his son. He warns Renji to not stay out too long, but Renji argues that the men in town are good people. However, Badian informs Renji that when it comes to cult members, they don't show mercy to anyone. To safeguard Renji's future as the next demon lord, Badian decides it's best to change his identity by gaining a hero's certificate which can bring legitimacy.
I cannot take this nigga seriously walking around like a fish, looking up into the sky like that. That's so disgusting.
To the demon clan, awarded by the Martial Arts League. He reveals that he has already enrolled him in the Justice League Academy. Renji becomes so excited upon hearing this he has to finish his enrollment outside. The demon lord then summons his sidekick, called Lee, to act as his bodyguard in the outside world. As they head to the academy, Lee makes Renji carry him all the way by convincing him it's all part of the training. After finally arriving, they join a waiting line which is announced to be an inspection to ensure any cult members don't sneak in. Just then, a boy is thrown out of the building because he has a cult character on his outfit. When he tries to explain himself, the chief guard, called Kiang, knocks him out utilizing a German suplex as he doesn't tolerate excuses.
I think I like this because this seems like it's kind of funny, light humor.
Seeing the risks they are faced
Nothing too serious.
Lee puts Renji's mind at ease, saying he doesn't have to worry as there are no cult marks on him. But suddenly, there's an announcement that the demon lord's son is in town. They have a detailed description of him, including his outfit, so the disciples start picking on anyone wearing a similar dress. Renji is shocked to find out that his personal information had been leaked. So Lee takes the initiative and transforms Renji into a beautiful-looking girl in order to hide his identity. This disguised Kiang and the guards are completely fooled and they permit their entrance none the wiser. Inside, Renji is shocked to see that Lee is also dressed as a girl. As Renji complains that his dress is too revealing, they are suddenly attacked by the director of the discipline department, called Mingju, who calls them cult scums. In the panic, they soon discover that Mingju's hostility is directed towards Lee, who looks barbaric despite his disguise. Lee plays along and tosses Renji towards her while revealing he is indeed a cult member.
Buttershack cheered. X100. I remember watching this, but I never finished it cause it made me very uncomfortable.
Let's see why it made you uncomfortable. Now I'm curious.
She attacks Lee, who then defends himself with his sword. Renji can only watch as the two continue to battle each other. However, just as Mingju decides to get serious by using her Kai attack, the fight is interrupted out of the blue. In all the distraction, Lee reveals that he is going away. On the other hand, Mingju is angry that Saiyan interrupted her fight. Although he ultimately saved her, Mingju is angry that his actions let Lee escape. As she leaves with Renji, Saiyan complains about needing some tissue, so Renji offers him his silk scarf to use.
Bro. I don't know how I feel about it.
Saiyan fall in love with him instantly. After he leaves, it is revealed that Mingju hates men greatly, so she takes a liking to Renji, who she thinks is a girl. As they walk, she begins asking about his knowledge of cults and shows him a portrait of the demon lord's son. So Renji freaks out, thinking
I'm very scared, bro.
Mingju then begins revealing details about the demon lord's son. When she reveals that his name was not given, Renji finally relaxes after realizing he hasn't been discovered yet. After noticing Renji's state, she thinks of him as someone to protect. She then reveals she has the dream of catching the demon lord's son and executing him herself. At the venue of the entrance ceremony, Mingju and Renji part ways. On the stage, Mingju welcomes the chairman, Master Fate, to give his speech. Shortly after he begins, everyone gets bored really fast and start to fall asleep.
Yeah, that's why I feel like watching this video.
Everyone affirm their hate for cultists. As everyone choruses the Academy's mantra on cult hate, Renji realizes he is in a sheep among wolves situation. Shortly after, a figure representing Renji is raised up. So Mingju fires an arrow that sets it on fire. Everyone screams in excitement as that is the signal.
They really not fucking with my boy. His dad's a fish. His dad's a fish. Like, why are they so mad at him?
the Fate Ball to be released. As everyone hopes to catch it, Renji moves away to escape the place in one piece, but before he can get out, the ball finds its way to his hand. Immediately, he is taken to the stage and congratulated as the girl who won the Fate Ball. Mingju reveals the winner.
No, that is funny. I'm not gonna lie.
George the _Laginator donated $3. What that fish mouth do?
Thank you for letting me take my money from your account for just so you could say some fucking nonsensory. I appreciate that very much so.
Winner has the right to get a gift from the headmaster, so an artifact called Kyandai is handed to him as the prize, adding that this artifact will permit him to get 10 years of the headmaster's cultivation, making the other students jealous. Next, she allows Renji to introduce himself and the sect he belongs to. Everyone is eager to know. However, he is panicking since he doesn't want to be found out, so he says that he doesn't have a sect, disappointing everyone except the headmaster, who is already suspicious of him. Before transferring his cultivation, the headmaster suggests testing his cultivation aptitude. Renji surmises that his identity might be discovered, so he avoids the headmaster. But Master Fate is persistent to carry out the test, so Renji continues to run. When the old man finally stops from exhaustion,
no, there's animated jokes. This is animated jokes.
Carry out the
no,
test,
no,
so
look at
Renji
this, look at this, look at
continues
this.
to run.
Bro, that is actually hilarious. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what nobody
finally
says.
stops from exhaustion. Renji begs to take his leave, but instead, he is forced to receive a long-distance energy transfer which sends him flying from the headmaster. When Mingju checks on him, he reveals that his body feels more relaxed than usual. At that moment, everyone discovers his chest implants on the floor. As Renji freaks out, everyone begins murmuring about his identity. Fortunately, Mingju defends him by saying they should not make fun of him just because he is flat-chested. She tries to convince everyone present that Renji is a girl by getting intimate with her. And everyone then believes her since it is known that she hates men. Later, the pair arrive at a location where the placement test to determine the student's foundation would be carried out. Kang reveals the first round is to determine speed. For this, they are to run 50 laps around the stage. However, when the race begins, he tells Renji to do 100 laps. Renji asks why him, to which Kang reveals that he simply dislikes people without backgrounds. Shortly after, Renji finishes his 100 laps, but Kang doesn't believe it as he was so fast. When Mingju arrives, she informs him that the headmaster's cultivation has made Renji stronger. The next round is a technical task that involves hitting the bullseye
because we don't want to see no background about how he fights. So she hates men because she's gay. She hates men, so that led to her being gay.
Each student then begins throwing knives at the target at their own pace. When it comes to Renji's turn, he
Bunny has been discovered. Thank you, Jay Nasty Sweat Man. I'll lick that sweat off of you, bro.
Throws the knives simultaneously and hits the target. Everyone begins complimenting Renji, but Kang isn't the slightest bit thrilled, so he intentionally
he's
fails
such a hater, bro.
Mingju tries to intervene, so Kang threatens to demote her if she continues to interfere. At that moment,
he's such a hater.
An intruder arrives to disrupt the encounter. The intruder turns out to be a little girl called Bai. Bai reveals that she isn't going to acknowledge the test, and when Kang asks what sect she belongs to, she reveals that she is the heir of the Sunflower sect. Seeing his injustice, she challenges Kang to a duel despite shamefully admitting to failing the 2 rounds of the test. Kang then decides to play along with her since the next round is a power contest. The two fighters take their stance, but after a while she doesn't even move to attack. Kang then loses his patience and sends her flying. As she rises, everyone expects a comeback, but she surprisingly accepts defeat. After seeing her behavior, Kang remembers her father, who behaved cowardly like her in the past. He then begins mocking her and her father, making Bai very upset as her father is very dearly to her. As she defends her father, Renji sees that they've had similar lives, recalling times with his father too. When Kang decides to wrap up the duel, he uses a Kai attack, but it is suddenly blocked by Renji. Renji challenges Kang to a duel in hopes of restoring Bai's honor. So both fighters charge.
When do you go back to being a man? Out of curiosity, I'm just curious.
Their Kai, and Kang becomes the aggressor in the fight, and Renji focuses on evading all his attacks without fighting back. As the fight lingers on,
wait, did
Renji
he turn her into a ball?
evading all his attacks without
what the fuck is this show, bro?
back.
I don't understand.
As the fight lingers on,
turn it off. No, we're already halfway through. We gotta finish it.
The Demon Lord warned him not to use his cult kung fu technique in public, as his power would be too great.
Thank you for the gift.
When he was little, he was taught different skills and techniques by the cult members. Also, during the final battle, some cult elders passed down their Kai to Renji before they were defeated by the Justice League. As a form of retaliation, the Dark Lord allows him to slap his opponents, and so he sends Kang flying. Kiang remembers that the name of the slap skill is called the World Oblivion Slap and it is used by cult members. He deducts right there that Renji is a cult member, but before he can do anything, he is tortured by lust, which is a side effect of the skill. After the battle, everyone hails Renji as a hero, but at that moment the disciples appear with a recognizable personality, who Mingju goes on to address as the head, called Buching. Bai tries to talk to him, but Mingju restrains her. When Buching walks to meet Kiang, he mocks him for failing to defeat a mere freshman. Next, he reveals that there's a cult member among the students.
Of course they did.
Buttershack cheered. X100. Remember that you saw an old man try to touch a femboy.
I think he was just trying to touch his hand to see like his cultivation, to see if to like either unlock something on him or see if he was a demon.
He offers to give the cult member a quick death if he or she steps forward on their own, making Renji even more on edge. Buching concludes that the cult member has to be Renji since he was capable of defeating the head guard with slaps. Mingju then defends him, stating it was the Kai artifact from the headmaster that enabled him to defeat Kiang.
BS.
Unconvinced, Buching then asks the disciples to bring the witness. So Saiyan is brought.
That is an insane arch. I feel like that requires life practice. You have to have life dedication to achieve something like this.
In on a stretcher. When he is asked to identify the cult member, he heads straight to Renji in haste and expresses his relief that he is safe. He explains that there was a powerful cult member in the scarf he gave him. Buching explains that Saiyan was poisoned with a cult-exclusive toxin called Grume Cream. Once touched by it, the victim feels huge amounts of pain and gets swellings or sometimes dies.
Okay.
However, Renji remembers that it was the sauce that the cult invented to grill fish. Everybody is glad that Saiyan was attacked instead of Renji. At that moment, Buching becomes suspicious, so he sends an attack directed at the bush where Lee is hiding. Instantly, Lee reveals himself and Buching then charges in to attack him. As they battle, it is revealed that they know each other. They continue fighting as Buching chases Lee around.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
shout out
the result
Lee!
of the placement test is announced and Mingju, who gets the highest score, is placed at the top of the class. Some other students make it to the advanced class, but when it comes to Renji, he is placed in the worst class despite his good score.
Makes
the
sense.
class turns out to be a shabby building with many weird members. Renji finds that Saiyan is also a member of the class, and
Yo, this nigga got something to do with poking his butt out, bro. Like, he has to be at least bi. Bare minimum, he gotta be bi, because I ain't never seen a man poke his butt out this much and don't like taking it up the butt.
asks him why everyone is acting weird. However, Saiyan wants to join in, so he doesn't seem to find anything particularly unusual in the class. Fortunately, Bai is also in the class. She notes that no teacher had come in to teach and that everyone is disorganized. Renji is stunned when Bai reveals she wants to take the role of the teacher. She begins organizing the class, but soon they notice the arrival of a creepy figure by the entrance. Buching enters the class and complains about their noise-making. When he stands in front of Bai, she throws a tantrum, and Buching deducts points from her for breaking the rules. He reveals everyone in this class has moral points which can change depending on one's act. Bai complains again and uses a curse word, so she gets 5 points deducted from her. Buching informs class that anyone with 100 deducted points will be expelled from the academy. He then begins subtracting. Like,
why do they have to turn it off as too gay? That's insane. That's insane.
When he gets to Renji, he reveals that his offense is harming a teacher, so 100 points have been subtracted from him. With that, he is to be expelled from the school. When he orders the disciple to get all of Renji's belongings, he panics since his original male clothes would be discovered. But just then, Bai and Saiyan defend her by saying Buching has to expel them too if Renji has to go.
Facts.
So Buching orders the disciples to bundle them all out of the school. At that moment, Mingju arrives to defend Renji too. She argues that it was a duel, so she had no choice but to go for the win. But still, Buching doesn't budge and he threatens to deduct points from Mingju too. This makes her furious, so she quits the discipline department and moves into the worst class. This unexpected act makes Buching beg her to reconsider, as she is the only daughter of the martial arts league leader. She refuses and sticks to her decision, so he has no choice but to withdraw the expulsion.
When you're a spoiled brat, you can get away with doing anything you want. It doesn't matter when you're a fucking spoiled brat. Walker likes this shit. I just want to finish it, bro. We're halfway through it. We gotta finish it.
Buching is confused about how to respond appropriately. Their conversation is then interrupted by the arrival of the headmaster. He reveals that their teacher is supposed to be Ken, but since he is out of commission, he appoints Buching as the new teacher of the class. Buching, along with the other students, is shocked by the announcement, but Saiyan is excited as he would have the opportunity to be trained by Buching, who he adores. Next, Headmaster
Danny Boy 512 cheered. X 10,000.
Hey, Danny Boy, what you got going on, Danny? Danny Boy, where you get all that money from? That's your first time chatting. Where you get all that money from? Where you work at? Are you a suburban kid? Thank you, Danny. I appreciate it, man.
Fate restores 5 points both to Mingju and Renji. He also encourages them to be friendly to each other since they would
My
be staying
sugar
in the
baby
same
is
room
insane,
moving forward.
bro.
Finally alone, Mingju suddenly reveals that she knows Renji is a little demon lord as well as a man, telling him she realized his identity after discovering his hidden male clothes when she opened his bag in secret to place her handmade dolls inside as a surprise gift. Mingju begins questioning his motive for joining the Justice Academy. As she becomes hostile, Renji loses control of his powers, so he begs Mingju to give him a chance to explain. He explains that he just wants to obtain a certificate of good. Mingju doesn't want to believe his story.
Why the fuck is she blushing?
A body has been discovered.
Damn, it looks like you want your sweat to get licked off multiple times today, man. Sweat. That's all I'm seeing right now.
It feels like the truth, so instead she decides to trust his intentions given that he has been nothing but kind during their short time together. Although
Okay,
he
bro.
seems good, she knows
Danny Boy 512 cheered. X 10,000. I got it from by Sugar Daddy.
You know what? Send me your sugar daddy's number. Me and him can have a conversation. We can sit down. We can sit down and have a full-blown discussion on where he should really be sending his funds to, Danny. Okay? So how about me and you sit down? We sit down and have a talk.
notes that he is still a cult member. Mingju then decides to simply report to the school, but Renji begs her to reconsider. She begins falling for him, so she agrees the best course of action would be to monitor him in person. Embarrassed that she kissed him, she asks Renji to continue dressing like a girl. When it's time to sleep, they are faced with the problem of sharing a bed, so Mingju uses her spear to create a boundary between them. Later, she begins talking and moving while asleep. Though it was unintentional, she became the one to break the boundary herself. The following morning, Mingju feels refreshed, but Renji is rather tired since he didn't get any sleep. One after the other, they are joined by their classmates. As they interact,
Danny, since you donate that many bits, man, I'm gonna make sure your money goes to good use. I will be buying 100 potatoes with all the money you sent me. Actually, I could get more than...
Danny Boy 512 cheered. X 10,000. Nah bro, he's my sugar daddy.
The fuck you being selfish for? So we just being selfish? That's insane to me. Well, now I'm using all $300 on fucking potatoes. Fuck you, Danny. That's how I feel. I'm using all $300 on potatoes.
Buttershack cheered. X 100.
The hell?
How about that sugar daddy gets a couple more people?
You feel me? You feel me, Butter? But he talking about some, oh, well, you know, I want his nice sugar daddy. Selfish ass nigga, bro. But not for real. We could talk after stream. You know, DM me. We can set up a conversation. We can call it a business meeting.
with each other, Buching makes a dramatic entrance and orders everyone to line up, revealing to the students that he is going to put them through rigorous training in order to groom them to his standards. So he orders them to pair up and engage in a battle of Kai. The winner of the match gains 5 points while the loser loses 5 points.
Okay.
To hide Renji's identity, Mingju suggests that they fight together.
Danny Boy 512 cheered. X 10,000. Nah.
Gatekeeping your sugar daddy is insane. I appreciate everything you're doing though, but gatekeeping is insane, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. What do you gain from gatekeeping? Aren't we supposed to be like this for real? I thought we were supposed to be like this. But you gatekeeping. Yeah, don't be shy, man. Don't let us know. Don't what are you being shy for? You just met him? He just met me. He spent $400 on me. The least he could do is tell me who his sugar daddy is. You feel me? Like, I feel like that's the bare minimum. Sharing is caring. You're sharing your funds. Now share the way you get the funds, you know?
However, Buching overhears them. He informs him it would be unfair to fight against his normal classmates since he received 10 years of Kai from the headmaster, so he decides to be his opponent instead.
Okay.
Before the first battle between Mingju and Jinchi begins, Jinchi reveals he plans on using his full strength to attack. At that moment,
A
Mingju
new
discovers
record,
the battles
yeah.
would let Buching
Whatever
observe
that means.
everyone's Kai, and as a Kai expert he could easily identify occult Kai. She begins thinking of all the horrible possibilities when Renji is caught. Her thought is interrupted by Buching, who announces her victory because Jinshi, who has eye problems, left the circle on his own. Saiyan is paired with Wang Dali, and when they begin, both fighters turn out to be evenly matched.
Bro.
So instead of actively competing, they begin to complement each other. So Buching takes 5 points from them both. When the next battle between Bai and Waotu is announced, Bai begins to advertise her sex book instead of fighting. This leaves her wide open for Waotu to attack and win the match.
Then turn it off. I can't. We're almost done. I dedicate myself to the graph.
Reveals he won't hold back at all. He then attacks suddenly, making Renji unintentionally counter using a different Kai than earlier. Luckily, it's the headmaster's Kai he activated, motivating Buching to continue attacking.
Danny Boy 512 cheered. X 5000. Gay.
No, you're the one who gay. You're named Danny Boy and you have a sugar daddy. That is homosexual behavior. Don't do that. Don't try to put it on me now. And you not sharing, you don't want to share nothing you got going on. I don't want to hear that from you, bro. I really don't. I really don't want to hear that from you. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Greedy ass, selfish ass.
Renji manages to counter yet again. This time he charges a powerful technique at Renji, who is barely able to survive the attack. The attack rips some parts of his clothes, so everyone becomes enchanted by Renji. As
Danny Boy 512 cheered. X 1000. Fine, I'll share.
Okay, drop the ad. Where's that at? Where's the ad?
he panics.
Where's
Mingju
that?
gets accused, so she accuses Buching of intentionally destroying Renji's clothes. Bai also joins to support Mingju's mischievous act.
If I am
Buching
getting
gets uncomfortable and
$400 from a
asks
sugar
Saiyan to
daddy,
take
I
off his
am every
clothes.
gender.
Upon hearing this, Saiyan thinks that he also wants to harass him. Bai gaslights the whole situation and raging Buching, who responds that when they encounter a cult disciple, they won't have time to worry about clothes. Having said that, he asks Renji to go all out and treat him like a cult disciple. So both fighters resume their Kai battle again. Although Renji is serious this time, he is pushed back by the force of
I'm still waiting for an ad, Danny. I'm not seeing an ad nowhere.
Buching's Kai. He reminds Renji that he would be expelled if his remaining 5 points are taken away after the match. This makes Renji use all of the Kai teachings the headmaster transferred to him. Before he goes out of the line, Buching uses his Kai to form a foothold. He thinks he succeeded, but the students point out that he has already left the circle. After the battle, Buching suddenly goes bald, which happens when a non-virgin or an average person receives Shaolin Kai, which is from the headmaster. And so Renji is declared the winner of
Wait, when a virgin?
Average person receives Shaolin the battle. Buching suddenly goes bald, which happens when a non-virgin or an average
Oh, a non-virgin. Okay, I thought he was a non-virgin.
Danny Boy 512 cheered. X 10,000.